bit underdressed, so I just realized that I only have one jacket at my back, so I'm like, okay, I took it and wear it.
No, it looks good, so don't worry. It looks great.
Yeah, so I actually started as a business person.
As a business, so you were working before this or running your own business,
Yes,
and then join MDEC.
Yes, so it basically started when I knew computer, when I was 13 years old. So
Wow.
I know that this thing is actually means a lot to the world. I know somehow that this thing can change the world, but I don't know what it can change. So I put a lot of efforts to learn about computer and the internet. And during my time at 15 years old, I made my first 60 ringgit. I'm a self-taught programmer.
Wow.
So I created websites. At that point of time, I was born and grew in a small town called Segamat, Johor.
Segamat, okay.
So Segamat is known for the durian city and all that, but it's actually very small population. We have about 200,000 people. So most of the time, we know almost everybody. The reason why it's a small town because Segamat is only represent 0.6% of Malaysia entire populations.
Yeah, that's
so
still a lot.
Not even 1%. So
Still a lot.
Yeah. So this is where I grew up. So the advantage that I have back then, because not many people actually dig out the internet and how they can utilize internet for business. So I started it, and I made the first business when I was 15.
You're making websites.
I'm making website, and then I expanded the services to web hosting, SMS Blaster, and then
That's like 13, 14 years old.
no, it's actually expanded after 2-3 years. 2-3 years, we
15,
added
16.
on the services. Yeah. And then we spam all these clients, our clients' customer. So basically,
Clients, customers.
they need us to actually provide SMS marketing. So I provide that platform. We have international gateways to many countries across the globe.
Wow.
So we can actually almost spam everyone as long as you have their phone number. So that's how I started. And then when I went to university, my friends actually have a lot of influence on me. So when they said like, look, once you graduate, actually you should work for corporates. Because you know why? Because corporate have your CV to look good and look great.
Yes, build your resume, your portfolio.
Yeah, so people will look like, okay, this guy is awesome because he works in a big company.
Yes.
So I studied in local universities called UiTM. So
ITM mana?
ITM Melaka.
Okay.
So ITM Melaka and Johor as well. So at that point of time, there's no one actually have the goal to be an entrepreneur or something.
I see.
Everybody wants to work for the big firms.
It's like that's how they were trained.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because all the seniors are working for the big firms, and they said, okay, that's where I want to go. So I was in that crisis as well. At that point of time, I actually sold my accounts and customers, and actually joined the corporates. So I started.
So you didn't hire someone to manage the accounts and
I did.
Okay.
I did, but we sold the entire accounts, but because we do not want to maintain the business.
Okay.
In fact, until today, still a lot of people, especially people who knows me early days, they still ask me, hey, do you do websites? Do you still do systems and all that?
Actually, you can still think about it. Reconsider your
No, it's actually a lot of work.
It's
a lot of work right now.
Yes, it's a lot of work.
And now it's very competitive. It's not like those days. It's very easy.
Yes, you'll be like the only person in your whole city running that.
You're right. Actually, not the only person. We have about 10 people who can do it.
Okay.
So I'm one of the most savvy in that market. So that's why I built some
Back
reputation.
then, I remember like the only customization I could do is change your wallpaper and put a screensaver on it.
Oh, that's
or a theme.
That's a big achievement for me when I was 13 years old.
No, I was actually older than that when I did that.
Oh, really? Okay. That's so cool. Yeah, so I joined Standard Chartered in trade finance.
Trade finance.
So I did trade finance.
So you studied finance?
No, actually I studied international business.
Okay.
So I joined trade finance. Then after a while, I met this gentleman named Duncan White. Duncan White is actually the head of operation for RBC Investor Services.
Well, Reserve Bank of Canada.
Yeah, no, Royal Bank of Canada.
Royal Bank of Canada.
At that point of time, it was a custodian bank between Dexia and RBC.
Okay.
So we manage investors, institutional investors' assets.
Okay.
So we manage about 2.7 trillion US dollar asset across the globe, 4 continents. Asia.
It is the first time someone talking about trillions in our interview series. Okay.
No, this is the company that I work for. Right?
It's still the numbers, man.
The numbers are big. Yes, it was fantastic. The reason I joined that company, I have no idea about investing in assets and all that.
Okay.
But the head of operation told me one thing. He said, "Look, I see something in you, and you don't know, it's fine.
Okay.
Every technical things you can learn." So he called immediately HR director to actually, hey, I want to hire this guy. And on this day, the same day, he actually printed the offer letter and asked me to sign on that day and join the company.
Wow.
So I signed on that day itself. He said like, look, in 2 weeks time, I need you to make me proud. I said, okay.
In 2 weeks time, you have to make him proud.
Because I joined the company after 2 weeks.
Wow, okay.
After 2 weeks,
That's a good boss.
It's really a good boss. He's the one who gave me a chance to learn about all these investments.
Okay.
All this while I didn't know much about investments. So
that's more towards the technical side. And
exactly about the merger and acquisitions.
M&A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's how I started, and then after that I joined MDEC because I realized after a while I worked with RBC about 2.5 years. After 1 year, I've actually in charge. They actually promoted me to a level where I in charge for the entire Asia Pac.
Wow, like a regional manager or something.
Yeah, I managed the regional house, and also expanded the business to Europe. But I found out that most of the time I don't need to be there at the desk because my team are so efficient. Most of the time I have drinks like 7 cups of coffees every day. It's not healthy. I tell you, it's not healthy. I came in, I eat nasi lemak, and I can go to Facebook. And only in exceptional cases they don't know how to do it because in the region I'm the only one subject matter expert.
Okay.
So even from
it's called
Singapore
SME.
and Hong Kong and all that, so they have to refer unless they have exceptional case they can't solve. So
it's the first time they're encountering the situation.
Exactly. So the best part, I'm always passionate when they found problems to solve.
Okay. So you're like, wow, I've never seen this.
Finally, I have work to do.
Actually, pretty interesting when your team can run without you. That's like a big achievement already.
It is. That's why I moved. I decided to move to another company. Then my friends told me like, hey, actually, since you are based in Cyberjaya, why not you apply for the government agencies and all that?
RBC is in front of Bomba, right?
Yeah, in front of Bomba in Cyberjaya.
Okay.
So that's the one. So when I joined, about 200 people. Today they grew about 1,000 people.
Okay.
So for the last 4 years. And so my friends told me work for a government agency. I said, go away.
Tanah lah.
Yeah, tanah lah. I say, go away. You know, who works for the government? At that point of time, I had that mentality. Until a point that somehow I went to JobStreet. I saw this job description from MDEC. It was so enticing. You're right. I was like, MDEC is very good in crafting the job descriptions. I tell you, when I look at
do they have a special person to do that?
I think so. Yeah, the people is actually very smart. I attracted to the job description. I said, no way, I'm going to work for the government.
This is me.
Yeah, this is me. That was the moment. Then when I joined MDEC, on my last day, so people congratulated me. It's like, hey, now you're working for the government. Now you can relax. You can go back at 4:30.
No, that's the total opposite.
Totally opposite.
Yes.
Yeah. So the is actually an eye opener for me. Second day I went back. I still remember. I joined the company. Started at 8:30, and then I went back about 2 o'clock in the morning. So consistently for the next 6 months at least, I went back on consistently about 11 p.m. That's how I started in MDEC. And but the thing that I learned for the last 6 months in MDEC is like the whole entire career, because that portfolio is actually I have to manage the Fortune 500 companies. The type of people that I've met, the type of experience I'll be able to download from them is actually very amazing. So I downloaded a lot of experience. It has really shaped the way I think, the way I talk, the way I. That's a problem. There's also a catch to it.
Now, what do you mean by manage Fortune 500 companies?
Oh, so basically, MDEC, we actually facilitate a lot of investment of these Fortune 500 companies to Malaysia. So we need someone to manage and understand the business and make sure that we can help them. MDEC can be relevant to help these companies to grow. So say example like Schlumberger. Schlumberger have the global financial shared service center in Malaysia, based in One Utama.
SLB.
SLB. So then we talk to Schlumberger how we can help you to grow further, not only in the finance space, but how can we bring HR, procurement, and create another 1,000 jobs in Malaysia? So this is what we do.
Okay.
So in that kind of negotiation, we have to meet very senior people, and we have to download from them, learn a lot of things along the way. But I'm very grateful to MDEC, because the bosses, especially at that point of time, I reported to a VP called Michael Warren, and also Datuk Wan Peng as well. Both of them actually good mentors, has helped me a lot to understand like how to deal and negotiate better with all these companies.
So you're dealing with financiers from overseas to help grow local-based companies.
Local-based companies, and how we can make Malaysia, instead of, let's say today they have the footprint for regional.
Okay.
How we can expand that to global.
All right.
Right. So that's how we position it. You know, at one point of time, we were so ambitious. We want to. Malaysia has always been the top 3 locations for outsourcing.
Okay.
In the world, we
BPOs.
are preferred for BPOs, right?
Yes.
Behind India and China. At one point of time, we were quite ambitious. We want to make sure that we can beat India and China. But I tell you,
quite hard lah.
It never happened. So then we changed the strategy. We said, look, you can have presence in India or China
You
or wherever.
can have your presence, yes.
Yes, but you must have a disaster recovery site.
Okay.
A secondary site. If something happened in India and China,
how are you going to manage them?
How are you going to manage them? So Malaysia is a very stable country. Thank God. All our business location, we don't have disaster. So our business location is very, very good.
Actually, one of the
Malaysia.
main reason people like Malaysia, one is the geographical location, second is its political stability. It's like no rusuhan, no people running on the streets, just burning everything. It's safe, it's nice here, peaceful.
And I think also thanks to the blueprint earlier in 1996 when MDEC started, we actually created MSC Cyber Center as well. The reason for that is the world-class infrastructure is key to bring all these guys to come into Malaysia.
Right.
Because just imagine if they have downtime for 1 hour, the financial losses for these giants is going to be like really huge. The complaints and all that. So Malaysia have done a great job in terms of make sure that the
consistent supplier, like all your infrastructure.
Yeah, the infrastructure, the world-class infrastructure is there. Of course, it comes with a bit premium price, but for this company, because Malaysia is actually a cost-effective location for them from US, even though they have to pay a bit premium for the location of MSC, still actually a lot of cost saving to them. So that's always makes sense. So that's why we have always been the preferred destination.
Actually, if you think about it right now, Myanmar, Vietnam is also another location, but right now, you know, shit's going down in Myanmar and things happening, so it's not such a viable place for them to go. Although the cost is so much cheaper, but they tend to stick to Malaysia.
Yeah, one thing I learned about the first 2 years I'm in MDEC is actually our Malaysian talents are really good.
Yes.
Our Malaysian talents are really high quality. In fact, if you go to Singapore, a lot of the companies in Singapore is actually fueled by the Malaysian talent.
Actually, we are the ones going there.
Yeah, we are the ones who actually fuel the talent to Singapore, right?
Really? From airport security up to their like high level, C-level management, it's Malaysians, man.
Yes, yeah, that's very true.
From going into the country to coming out of the country, it's all us.
That's very true. And that's why a company, CXS, you know them well. Right?
Yes, CXS.
So they came to Malaysia. One of the reasons because they realized that the talent that fuel their business in Singapore is actually Malaysian. Then it makes sense for them to actually set up in Malaysia and bring their entire operations to Malaysia.
Actually met a few people from CXS and they said that the conversion rate is also very helpful right now. Especially right now.
It's increasing the survivability of the company. So you have to spend, I mean, you multiply 3 times here.
It's more than 3.
Just move to Malaysia. That conversion rate helps a lot. Yeah.
Right. So okay. So you in this you're currently in the growth ecosystem development department in MDEC.
Yep.
Is that where you started in, or did you go around in MDEC?
I go around in MDEC. So I started with the global shared services with Michael Warren. So now I moved to growth ecosystem development.
How did MDEC hire a white man like that?
No, it's actually half white. So it's actually British and Malaysian Indian.
All right.
Yeah, but Michael is a cool guy. And then I joined another division called growth ecosystem development.
That's what you're right now.
Yes, under Hizam. So there's two different.
Mr. Hizam is quite popular right now.
Sorry?
Mr. Hizam is quite popular
right
now.
Yes, Hizam is very popular because he's driving the ecosystem for startups.
Yeah, exactly.
And we are moving a lot of more likely we set up the division. It's actually more like startups running rather than the old days that we have.
Oh, right now we are shooting from work, which is a big partner for MDEC.
Oh yeah.
It's also Malaysian Digital Hub, the 4th digital hub, right?
The 4th digital hub.
Okay, we're shooting live from work. Okay, go ahead about growth ecosystem development.
Yeah. Okay, so the growth ecosystem development team is quite new. It's quite new in the sense that we established early of the year because we realized that we need to increase our relevancy to help the startups. Okay. So either from funding standpoint, from market access, on how do we provide the relevant trainings or relevant workshops. For example, the UI UX workshop today.
Actually, it's happening right now.
It's happening right now actually at the back.
Yes.
So that is kind of training that we want to provide to the startups. But the thing is, when we started this initiative called Malaysia Digital Hub, it's actually we're still in experimenting mode because we want to know the market reactions, how it works. Because ideas are cheap.
Ideas are cheap and plenty.
And a lot of people telling us like this is what you should do, this is what you should do.
Right.
But what we do is we focus on the
execution. People will say
part.
Based on their experience overseas, but you have to tailor fit it for Malaysian community.
That's why by experimenting. Actually, we want to know the market reactions. So how does our startups react to it? Because some of the things are very useful in other countries because they will be able to understand.
True.
But when it comes to Malaysia, Malaysians say, okay, it looks
startup
like
apa benda?
Even the UX was introduced in Malaysia like 5-6 years ago. Okay. But until today, people still realize like what UX is all about.
User experience. So it's UI UX, user interface, user experience is how you navigate through a page, how you see the page. Sakit mata ke tak?
Yes.
Things like that.
Enhancing experience.
Yes.
And I think at the global level, for companies when it comes to digital transformation, a lot of companies used to just care about their products. Okay. So for example, let's say I'm a manufacturer.
Alright.
So I just take care about my territory of any issues related to manufacturing. So when it comes to distribution, for example.
Alright. Okay.
When it comes to distribution, I don't need to care about it. Let my distributor take care about it. But today, when it comes to experience, when we come to create better experience, we need to put an empathy level where we need to understand the ultimate customers of our customers in order for us to help the entire value chain.
Your customers are the entrepreneurs, startups, and their customers are their users.
Yes, we need to understand the profile of the end customers, the ultimate customers, so we can design the entire supply chain to make sure that we can enhance a better experience. So that's about it, especially on the B2B side.
One more thing I think that it's happening right now is like, let's say we already have an app for a car booking app, and then suddenly another one, a local one comes up. How do you retain them based on our local behavior, local usage? So you have to study our customers, and the local one seems to be doing better than the overseas one right now. So I'm sure you helped a lot in this kind of things. Could you share like how you help like any companies that make a traction in Malaysia or set foot in Malaysia and grow from there?
I think one of the disadvantage at first.
Disadvantage
at first for every foreign company is it's a local knowledge.
Local knowledge.
So the local knowledge about the behavior, like you mentioned, as precisely right. What we have is our startups who can actually complement their solutions in Malaysia. So what we do is the first thing is we do smart connection.
Smart connection maksudnya?
Smart connections maksudnya we don't just connect with someone that needs something. For example, I give you a easier example. Probably someone that's looking for funding. Okay. I'm looking for 500,000. Yes, there's a lot of investors investing in 500,000. Smart connection means you need to go to the level to understand the investors' appetite. What do they investing in? So, for example, these guys probably are in virtual reality, but the investors that we are connecting is actually investing in other stuff. So we need to make sure up to a level that we match it correctly. That's what I mean by
how can each one bring more value to each other.
Yes. So what we do in MDAC is not just connecting, but we spend a lot of our time when we talk to startups every day is to understand the type of connections and the type of markets, especially their we call that as ideal customers, who they are serving.
Ideal customers, okay.
So if they are serving the same ideal customers like few other startups, then we see there's connection for them to link. Then we say like, why not you connect with these startups to serve the same audience? I give you an example. Startups is actually our customers. So we work together with Beam.
Beam, yes.
Yeah, Beam also servicing startups. Magic is also servicing startups and also Cradle. So we work with everyone to make sure that we are actually servicing the customers. We can create integrated value.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Are they all doing the same job, or they have you specify like you do this job? There's already one guy doing this job. So hey, he's already doing that. Why don't you look at this stuff? Why don't you look at other stuff? Do you come in the planning and?
Oh yes, we do. So MDAC, we focus on the growth stage companies. So growth stage companies, basically companies that have proven tractions in the current market and ready to expand.
Yes.
So like program like Magic, they're focusing more on the seed level,
ideation level,
and move to the seed level. So once they graduate, they actually become our good funnel to MDAC as well for us to take over. Same goes to Cradle. Cradle alumni is very good as well.
Andrew from Think Big Venture has message saying
Andrew,
that you are his idol. How do I get a chance to work with you?
Oh my God! So and Andrew has been. Think Big Venture has been our great supporter. I know that Andrew has actually keep on promoting Malaysia, especially in Taiwan. I know,
especially in Taiwan.
Especially in Taiwan, he is our supporter. If we are not even have presence in Taiwan, it actually helps us a lot to promote Malaysia, what we have in the ecosystem. And his investee company, so Beam is actually investee company from Think Big Venture as well. So we realized that the synergy of working together we are already working together actually in that sense. Even though not directly with Think Big Venture, but we are actually working directly with the investee company.
I guess. All right. So like you were giving an example earlier that how you made a deal and made them grow and everything. So besides that, like example, I would say like easy, the lorry. Nadi, our friend, how would he come into the picture of like growth ecosystem in MDAC?
So Nadi, so in MDAC, we identified companies in 3 tiers. Okay, the third tier will be companies at the MVP level. So you just have MVP, there's no traction.
All right.
But the companies that have MVP and with traction, we classify them as tier 2. And we have also companies that we call this under Project Titan.
Project Titans.
Yeah, Project Titan in MDAC is a tier 1 company. So Nadi, the lorry is actually one of the Project Titan companies. It's not just about helping the companies to grow like the lorry, but it's also to give them opportunity to network a different level of networks. Because today, the startup ecosystem in Malaysia is quite small. After a while, very small. After a while, when you become senior in the industry, you found out, alamak, there's not much.
How do you go from what's the next level?
What's the next level? So this is what we are helping these guys actually to connect with the higher levels. So sometimes with the, for example, with the UK CTO, UK government CTO, for example, is coming down to Malaysia. So we're bringing some of our
who are these people and what do they do?
So UK actually appointed a technology executive, basically a CTO for the government of UK. So he's heading the digital technology for UK. So these guys we have the privilege to meet, and because they are ready for exports, we can establish some connections, and probably we hope that the government of UK will be able to open doors to some of our companies. Yeah, so they have this kind of privilege to go into a different level of networks that we're bringing. This just one example. And also we want them to pay it forward, because these guys are also, like for Nadi is actually someone that the startups, especially aspiring entrepreneurs, look up to.
Yes, definitely.
Because if let's say you call someone is too high level, for example, the CEO of PwC, or maybe you call someone is too high, they will not able to understand.
We can't connect, and actually I don't know the name of the guy. So like, who is this guy? He could be a foreigner somewhere.
Even though you call the most powerful person, probably he's the regional director of General Electric, but people don't care about it. Okay, so what's to do with me, right? So of course, very important for these guys in the Project Titan to actually help us. So that's why we always call them for our panel sessions to share like their experience in the closed door settings.
Someone they can connect to. He was like me. He was like me. Now he's somewhere else. I want to be like him. I want to follow his footsteps.
Yes.
Instead of someone so high up there, I don't even know who he is.
We tried that. We tried that. Even we tried with the SMEs that's making money. Okay. Last year we did with the SME of tech SME, making approximately average about 30 million.
Okay.
Even we connect them with these big companies, MNCs, they actually cannot really connect with them. So like then we
totally different level, man.
Totally different level. The way they talk, some things that they will not be able to understand because what they are looking into is actionable items they can bring into their company.
What do you do next? What do I do next? Okay.
Exactly. That's what they find. They're trying to find out. But sometimes it's too high level. For example, GE have this products called predicts about industrial internet.
Okay.
And then people will start wondering, how do I connect with?
No, first of all, they think, what the hell is industrial internet?
So it's a lot of stuff. So what we do is we try to get our hot startups at the Project Titan to help our lower tier startups. So hopefully they can become the hot startups, and these guys can move as well.
Yes.
Because I truly believe like when you actually share a lot of things with people, actually you share a lot of things for yourself, for your understandings, for you to improve further as well.
True. You learn through your journey, ups and downs. I might be going through the same thing as you. Then I can relate to you because you're probably only 3 years advance of me, instead of 300 years advance from me. That's totally different. You are in like 90 other countries. I don't even understand what it means to go outside of Malaysia. I want someone who's like, okay, I just passed your stage. I'm at the next stage. I'll guide you.
Yes.
We need more. We need more of those kind of things.
That's what they need. That's what they need. Yeah. That's right.
All right. So just now you're saying that magic is in the ideation stage.
Yeah.
And that comes in, goes to the traction stage.
The growth stage. Yeah.
Growth stage. What's after that?
What's after that? We have a program in MDAC called Gain.
Gain.
Yeah. So Gain program championed by Gopi and his team.
So it's which department does it come?
Gain is actually a department by itself.
Oh, Gain is a department.
So they do bespoke intervention to high potential companies to make them a $1 billion companies. So
towards $1 billion company.
Towards $1 billion company. So they have a different level of intervention like merger and acquisitions and all that.
Okay. So when would someone go into that stage? Like example, okay, we know the lorry. We have been speaking about lorry and all that. When would someone go into that? Enter the Gain punya database.
First of all,
this guy is someone who I can think about.
First of all, the startups needs to go to the Valley of Death.
Valley of Death?
Yeah, Valley of Death. So they need to make sure that they pass the Valley of Death. They're profitable. And these guys are actually the prerequisites.
What is the Valley of Death?
So Valley of Death is basically when we start a company and you fundraise, for example, and you're not even at the break-even stage.
Okay.
So we need to have someone at least, if you're big companies, you're at break-even stage. Even though a lot of companies are very popular in Malaysia, they are still in the Valley of Death.
There is revenue, there's no profit.
There's no profits.
Yes.
That's the problem. And you have a lot of investors to take care of.
The revenues are touching billions, but they're not making money.
The most interesting topic has always been about the investment and funding of the startups.
Okay. All right. So, through Gain helps reach that $1 billion company.
Yes. So they have.
So that's already going outside of Malaysia already.
Yes. Already have presence in multiple countries.
So MDEC helps after ideation up to that.
Up to IPO and trade.
So let's say for IPOs you'll have like underwriters and things like that. Will you also help with all that?
Yeah.
Setup like.
We don't limit the type of help that we can provide, as long as, because we don't want to go by template.
Okay.
Yeah, because every companies require different type of interventions at a particular time. So we want to make sure that we understand the particular company very well.
So how long would it take to understand a company for you to help them in a proper way?
Actually,
Nak bagi ubat tu.
Actually, the first thing is we ourselves has to make sure that we updated with the trends and knowledge, because we don't want to choose a wrong company.
Betul.
For example, like we know that in the next at least 4 and 5 years, AI is going big, IoT is going big, AR, VR is going big.
Yes.
So if we
robotics,
cloud is part of AI, that's true. So if let's say we focus on different type of CRM companies of the world,
that's totally different.
That's totally different. So the first
CRM $10 lepas.
Right. When we want to place our bet, we want to make sure that we place our bet into the trends of
in the future trends.
And that's how we then we shape. If we don't know how to do things, it's fine, because we still have consultants who help us as well.
Okay. And you can learn as you grow.
Yeah, we learn actually. I think the most important in the ecosystem is to keep ourselves modest. Because today you're gonna be a winner.
Stay humble.
Stay humble, stay modest. Because today you are the winner because your solution probably the most relevant in the market. But tomorrow someone else create the most relevant. Then that's it.
That's life, man.
Yeah, but
you have to accept that.
But usually that ego blindfolded us from actually understand like
I'm the best. I tahu semua pun apa pun tahu.
Everything I know. Yeah, that mentality is.
You can't go nowhere with that mentality, man.
Definitely.
Okay. One thing we are talking about just now is like how founders can improve, like from MDEX point of view. Let's say a startup founder or any general entrepreneur.
Oh yes, I think for startups, I always see passionate people to meet us and pitch us every day. Actually, almost every day I've been keep on hearing new pitch. Everybody tells that they have the most disruptive business plans in the world, the most innovative. This is the only one in the world.
It's going to be the next next Google, next Facebook,
and all that. So just cut the crap. Just tell us directly.
Yes. What are you doing?
What are you doing? What are you trying to solve? And we decide, or we tell you whether we think that this is disruptive or not. It's not that you tell us like, okay, this is the most disruptive business model in the world. So I think you should focus on us. And this thing is it's not healthy.
Last week I saw roti canai pelangi. Is it disruptive?
Well, it depends on the market.
So the dough is mixed with food coloring, man. That's it.
But if the serving kids, maybe.
Okay. Serving kids. Okay, you got to point that. So you find your niche, find your market.
Yeah. In fact, actually, most of the time when I was in the pitching, I've been judging quite a number of pitching competitions and all that. One thing that I realized that most of the time when people use template.
Template apa benda?
Template is like, for example, you can download from somewhere. Let's say Guy Kawasaki template about when you want to pitch, you talk about this. But the problem is, it's not about the template. Just don't follow the template blindly. One thing is, cut across. Most of the time, they fail to identify their ideal customers. So when I ask about, okay, who's your ideal customers? Most of the time, say, oh, mobile phone users. I tell you,
semua orang pun mobile phone user.
Everyone has a mobile phone customer. You cannot. So you cannot create a solutions for just a mobile phone users because it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So if you fail to identify the customers, the specific ideal customers that you are serving, it means that you are solving something that is not there because you don't know your customers, right? Who's going to be your buyer? So at the end of the day, if you fail to identify the right customers, not the right customers, sorry, your ideal customer, who you want to serve, and then you build application for them, that makes sense.
One thing that we learn in sales and marketing is making a buyer persona.
Oh yeah.
So you identify where does he hang out, what's his age, is he graduate, is he undergraduate, how much does he make a month, is he willing to pay $10 a month for this service, to buy a burger, is he willing to pay the extra $5 to deliver it to you? You have to identify all that.
Thank you, and you just elaborated it. Yeah, actually, all the startup must understand the demographic of the people that they are serving. So you cannot be just a mobile phone users. I tell you, a lot, even some of the startups, I'd be surprised when I ask them when they are serving mobile phone users.
I just don't get it when people come and tell me that, like, people come and talk to us like, hey bro, I got an idea for an app. What's your app? I want to do an app to sell things. I'm going to make a platform. I ask them, nak jual apa benda? Kat siapa? Berapa harga barang? Like, they don't know all that. No, I want to make an app. The goal is, I want to make an app.
And the best part of it, they're asking for funding. I still remember a couple of guys came with just an idea. I said, what's your prototype? I said, oh, this is the prototype. The prototype is actually, they just printed some things and put into a portfolio and showed me a physical portfolio. Oh, this is a prototype. I said, okay, you're requesting 1 million. 1 million ringgit. I said, can you connect me with investors? I told no investors will go invest in you. So
what was it about? Like they just printed something, downloaded on the offline,
I
online?
think something that overwhelmed is because I think the media coverage has to be more educating in terms of giving the aspiring
media
entrepreneurs
pun
to
masalah.
understand.
Yes.
Yeah, because when they tell all these rosy things, everybody thought that, oh, it's easy. I have an idea. I just pitch to MDEC or I just pitch to somebody else. They can connect me with investors. I can request for 1 million. It doesn't make sense. So,
now, if I was an investor, if you were an investor, will you invest in those kind of things?
No.
You have to think on the other side. You nak pergi minta date, and then you have to think back. Will he give me money for this or not?
Yep.
So am I okay? Like you said, one more thing we are talking about is like the readiness of the people coming and seeking your advice, seeking your guidance, seeking your investment. How ready should they be?
They must be ready just enough for them to go to the next level. Because
maksudnya, next level tu apa? Where are they coming from?
I give you an example. I think from risk standpoint, because even for investors, they're looking for the risk standpoint.
Okay.
What will be the right risk to take? It's actually just enough to move forward. We don't take high risk, and we don't even look at so low risk unless you are investing in bonds or something. But so
that's very low. Yes.
Yeah, it's just enough. So if you can sense that risk is just enough, because it's very subjective. It's not something like 30% will be just enough, 40% will be just enough.
You can't say. You can't put a number on it.
Exactly. And in fact, for every entrepreneur, when they solve new problems, they're actually creating a new path.
It's full of risk.
Yeah, actually, they are the one who discover the risk. They were the one who can know whether they are taking enough risk to move forward.
It's like people yang meneroka tanah baru. Like peneroka Felda. You don't know there's snakes there, there's a lion there, there's an elephant there.
Yes.
They are the one, the first pioneers going into the land.
They are the one who knows whether they are taking a good risk or not. Because I've been interviewing some other startup. I asked them, are you taking the right risk? Actually, they mentioned to me most of the time, actually I'm not taking risk. Because they are so afraid after they grow to a certain level, they're quite afraid to take risks anymore because afraid of losing whatever
they did 5 years before they're not doing anymore.
Yes, that's true.
I think it also comes back to your social life. Like you're married, you have kids, you have a company to take care of, you have 10 people working under you. And one more thing, I think the most important factor, you have a backer with a financial backer who wants his money back.
Yes. Because at the end of the day, whatever they ask, whatever they assess you as an entrepreneur, is about, like, let's say if I am an investor, can I trust you with this 500,000 I invest in you now, and you can give me back my money plus some profits for me. So that's all about it. It's actually about the entrepreneur itself. It's not about so much about business model. Business model you can tweak. So in the industry, most of the time, either you meet someone who have good business model or a good entrepreneurs. It's very rare for you to meet both. Good entrepreneurs plus good business model.
Good entrepreneur meaning the whole set of it.
A good entrepreneur is the personality, is the person. The person, they have the perseverance. They have the ability. They want to pay it forward. So these are the type of entrepreneurs. Good
paying it forward, for my personal view, comes from your background. The value of that you went through, and who helped you at that time. You think about them. You want to help the next person.
Definitely, that's very true.
The one who has had it right all the way will not think about the next person.
I tell you, most of our hot startups we met, they have that paying it forward attitude. They always
very nice.
Even though they are very busy. Most of our hot startups are very busy. I tell you, it's very hard to secure that time. But when MDEC calls them for sharing session with small groups to share about how do you go through a certain stages and what do you do, so they immediately say, okay, I want to jump in and help. So because they know it's how painful it is to go through.
Could you which are the hot startups currently in your view, and when you organize events, what level of startups join your events?
We usually call startups at minimum viable products level to participate in our programs, because we know that this guy is going to be our funnel for the future. And we usually call the hot startups to actually find giving them some guide. So that's about it. So
Contoh hot startup?
Contoh hot startups like The Lorry, Super Hands, Service Hero, PureDB, we have GoGet. Yeah, so these are type of the startup. Faith as well.
Okay. Faith is like super huge.
Yeah, so they're very huge. They're very huge and very strategic. But Chen Chao
Yo.
Yeah, Chen Chao Yo is very very supportive. He always find a way to help the communities, and it's very active. Yeah.
One more thing that I know that you all are doing is building the community. So I know you're helping Beam, and through them you're organizing lots of events.
Yes.
My boss here is taking photo with Inbaraj. He manages Launchpad, another co-working space. The second co-working space in Cyberjaya. And he's running your UI UX class.
Oh yes. Thank you.
Do sign up for his classes. Okay. So you're running a lot of community building programs. How's the feedback like? And like they come and join your event. What's after that?
So for the community, so we rely on the community managers in every digital hubs. Because for consistent engagement. Because the thing is, every day, the program is actually on a period basis. So example, let's say we have different group attending UI UX, different group attending blockchain.
Right.
But it's very hard for us to have consistent intervention for a particular profile.
Okay.
So what we rely on usually is not only first we rely on digital hub community managers. They will help us to be our eyes and ears to identify which are the type of good companies. So one of the things that a slight topic but it's related is about MTAP. Yeah, Malaysia Tech Entrepreneur Program.
Your boss just talked about it yesterday.
Yes, we talked about it. And it's very important tool actually. One of the things that we do in MDAC is not just to grow, to build the ecosystem, but it's also to make sure that we advise the Malaysian government on the policies and all that. So one of the policies that we advise Malaysian government and we talk to immigration is on the MTAP program. So usually you can bring foreign knowledge worker through companies.
KW.
Yeah, FKW, foreign knowledge worker and all that. You have to register in a company and then tag into a company. But we realized that a lot of foreign founders, actually they actually study here in Malaysia. They are doing something in the backyard, but they're afraid to declare because they are on tourist visa.
Right.
So we realized there's need for us to negotiate, and our management have negotiated with the immigration, and now we introduce MTAP. So MTAP has two things. One is about the new entrepreneur, basically the fresh grad, the aspiring entrepreneur. They have ideas. They send a pitch deck. If our committee feels that the pitch deck makes sense in terms of commercial viability, then we grant them 1 year.
1 year? 1 year to?
1 year to work in Malaysia, to work on the ideas, and it's actually renewable. So if let's say the ideas work,
memang it's working well,
and we renew another 1 year. So for founders, we actually have established business outside. We look at the P&L. If it makes sense, we can give them up to profit and loss. Profit and loss of the company. We look at the balance sheet as well. If the
now this is just for everyone.
Understand. So if it makes sense in terms of the profit and loss of the company, it's a profitable and a strong company and strong presence outside Malaysia. When they apply, they can straight away apply for the 5 years established entrepreneur.
Established, that's a second level.
That's actually a resident pass, so they can bring all the dependents to Malaysia.
So it's like a company is hiring you, like contohnya SLB is hiring someone to come to Malaysia, expatriate program. They have like the second home program and all that. Are these guys, like when they grow bigger, will they be eligible for those kind of things?
Actually, they're already on resident pass. So for example, if they are established entrepreneur, our valuable pass is actually a resident pass. It's not just a working visa. It's actually a resident pass. So basically allow them to actually, they can use that to work in Malaysia as well.
So this one we're talking about founders. Kalau let's say there are people who like a UX expert or a coding expert or someone, they want to come into Malaysia. How does MDEC help facilitate them?
Let's say they create their own company, their own.
They're working for someone. Example.
Then it doesn't count. It's only for the founders of the company. So example,
from a point of view of a founder, then.
Point of view from the founder, they can apply to us definitely. So if let's say you have UI consultants, UI consultancy company,
Okay.
and you have successful one in outside Malaysia.
Okay.
And you want to bring that to Malaysia, and then we can provide with the founders pass. Establish entrepreneur pass actually.
Okay. So one more thing is like you started off with MSc for startups.
Yeah.
Dari sana then you go to Malaysian Digital Hub, and then what's the future plans?
The future plans for MDEC is very tricky because
You go on a 6-month basis.
we goes on the 6-month basis. Yes, because as we go along, we want to make sure that we understand our relevancy is there. Because if to predict another 1 year or 2 years, it's actually quite far. We can know the trend.
Technology changes every day.
Technology changes every day. So we want to make sure that what's relevant to our ecosystem,
Okay.
and we tweak it accordingly. If we need to tweak it in 3 months, we will tweak it in 3 months.
Do you have like a separate department in MDEC doing the studies, future studies?
Oh yes, we have our
Like
corporate
kalau dalam
strategy.
banking, you have your analysts, economic analysts doing their stuff. So in MDEC, which department or what do they
Actually,
do?
most of the time, our division as well, growth ecosystem development, because the charter of startup is mainly our charter.
Okay.
So when it comes to startups, we have to gather all these feedbacks and information and
Understand.
work together with our founders.
Based on what criteria or who do you look up to as the benchmark? Kita nak ikut dia ni lah, dalam 5 tahun kita nak jadi macam dia, like
Actually, we goes by problem that we need to solve.
problem that based on problem
Problem that we need to
Okay.
solve. Say example in Malaysia, I give you an example from funding standpoint. In Malaysia, we have a lot of people playing in the seed round.
seeding. Okay.
So, but it's very hard to get investment from A, B, and C from the local investors.
Okay.
So most of the time, founders have to go out from Malaysia and then go and pitch investors.
Banyak pergi Singapura.
Banyak pergi Singapura and go to Taiwan, Hong Kong, and all that. They have to pitch outside Malaysia, so it's A, B, and C. So what we do is we found the loophole, and now we work together with other agencies and even ministries how we can solve this gap together. So the thing is, this is actually under work in progress still.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would be the outcome of that?
So we hope more investments focus on tech startups. Most of the time, our big companies in Malaysia investing, but they are not. They are actively investing, but tangible business like property and all that.
Yes.
So they're not really investing in tech startup because they don't understand the business yet. Some of the people might understand
Because you can't see it, can't touch it.
Yes.
F&B, real estate, manufacturing, you see the product, you see this, oh, this has this function, this can do this is better than iPhone.
Yes.
But in tech, you don't know what's the outcome. How do you put it to the investors like, hey, this guy is building an app, katakan Nadir back, this guy is building an app to hire lorries, crowdsource a lorry. How would you put it? Or would you be the face of the company, or you'll call the founders to talk with them?
For example,
For let's say to get an investment or investor or something.
Oh yes. So what we do is we work directly with the founders first because we want to understand the risk appetite for the investors and also for the founders. So founders say, okay, I'm looking for strategic investors in telco, and they have presence in particular countries, and they also own payment gateways. So we have to filter them. This type of companies will be able to be their strategic partner.
We have a viewer, Jack. I don't know how to pronounce Jack. Pung. Thanks for the effort put in supporting local homegrown startups. Thank you, MDEC.
Thank you.
Alright. And we have Drew again. Andrew.
Okay.
Andrew says that if you want to be successful, get rid of your ego. And if you think you know everything, you know nothing.
Yep.
Actually, that's true.
That's very true. Yeah, that's very true.
Because there's so much to learn, and if you think you know everything, that's only this book. Then there's like 20,000 other books to learn.
It's very important to be a good listener and stay modest. Actually,
Stay modest. When you are modest, people point to you. They come and help you. They're like, "Hey, he's a nice guy. Let's go help him."
I think honestly, when I I went to a lot of networking sessions. What is lack in the industry is the genuine relationship, connecting with each other. So everybody has their own agenda. It's fine.
How much can I make out of you?
Yeah, how much can I make out of you and all that. But I think ability to establish relationship, the genuine relationship, for us to work together in long run.
Yes,
that is key.
For a sustainable relationship.
Yeah, sustainable relationship.
You need that. It's a give and take. It's a two-way relationship. Instead of me, how much can Endek try to give me this year? Not like that lah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. So I think we have talked quite a lot.
Okay.
If like you want to tell something, a take-home message to our viewers, what would it be?
I think for journey as an entrepreneur is definitely not as rosy.
Not as rosy. Rose comes with thorns lah, bro.
Rose come with thorns. Right. But the thorns are more in the startups world.
Yes.
And what you are reading online most of the time is just of 2% or 3% of the successful.
This guy managed to raise capital. This guy just went expanded to 3 other countries.
But the reality at the back is so different.
Yes.
Most important thing, you will fail definitely, but keep pressing on is very important. The never say die attitude. You keep refining until you achieve your goal. That's very important.
And adapt to changes, adapt to times, adapt to the people, the locality.
Establish real relationship with the people. That's very important, because once people feel that connection, they will be loyal to you.
Yes.
That's how we work.
You give value to people. People are like you. Don't just try to sell your product.
Yeah.
Okay, Mohd, Atasha, Alias. Viewers, I think we don't have that many. Sheikh Firdaus says, people see this more to apps-based business. Apa yang dia tengok? So, what do they see to based on apps business? I don't know what he says. Anyway,
okay.
I think, if people want to connect with you or connect to MDEC, are you the department to connect? Are you the person to connect? Or is there another person?
I think my most important key takeaways at the end of the day, all of you guys, make sure that subscribe at Malaysia Digital Hub Facebook group.
Malaysian Digital Hub.
Yeah, because
you'll see the blue D. The D is invisible.
Yeah, the blue. That is very important to keep track what we have done in the past, what's upcoming in the future. Because all these things that we are promoting will be at Malaysia Digital Hub. And our supports in MDEC, our whole division is actually there in the Malaysia Digital Hub Facebook.
Okay.
So it's not really for one person. So you don't have to rely on one person, but you can actually share with us.
So let's say I message that page. Ada orang jawab kata?
Ada, we have someone actually.
So someone
taking care
from MDEC lah, bukan chatbot lah.
We hope we can use chatbot to automate certain things, because because most of the time when we created this landing page, actually most of the time it's a repeat questions.
Same. So
but we hope to have chatbot actually.
So if someone is looking for you or looking to get in touch with MDEC,
I'm always
go to Malaysian Digital Hub. Cukup cakap?
Yes.
Anything else you want to share? Something you simpan dalam terpendam?
Not terpendam lah. I think as long as you have good intention on solving the real values of the problems, and keep yourself modest and keep pressing on when there's a lot of challenges, it will work. Thank you.
He said thank you already. Okay. Alright guys, viewers, we are done with today's session with Atasha Alias from MDEC, from Growth Ecosystem Development. And if you want to get in touch with him, as he said, go to his page, Malaysian Digital Hub. And
it's actually Facebook group. Actually.
Facebook group, sorry. Go into that. You can ask what's happening, ask what's their plans, how can they help you. And before that, make sure you're ready lah. Okay, make sure you're ready. As he said, you are at a certain stage to receive help. One more thing, you have to be open to receive lah. You cannot close yourself. As he said, be humble, be modest. Another one, don't forget to like our page, VspireLabs, where we bring you more educational, informational content like this. We also have a YouTube page and an Instagram page. So go subscribe, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
you.